The Forged in Fog DLC is currently sitting at a mixed review on Steam, already marking it as one of the worst releases along with Freddy, Legion, Twins and Trickster. But is this patch really that bad? Or is it all an exaggeration? Let's talk about the problems of this patch, and there are a lot affecting the entire game. I am not going to give an opinion on the Knight and his strength because I am negatively biased towards him being bad. Even at best, I do not enjoy the Knight's playstyle. Instead, let's talk about the facts and the glitches. The Knight released in a very poor, buggy state. It is not as bad as the Twins was, and to be fair, Wesker was more bugged in my opinion. But that does not mean the Knight is in a good state. So currently, there are 3 very problematic issues with Knight and some smaller ones that I expect them to be fixed very soon. And let's start with the biggest issue of all. I am talking about Sonic Speed Knight. If you get stunned as you use your power, the Knight will be stuck in a hyperspeed state where you can accelerate extremely fast and move anywhere you want. However, your camera is locked, similarly to when you use Pyramid Head's power. Your basic attacks have no slowdown at all, so you can constantly attack while you don't lose speed. And if you keep this, no matter if you get stunned back or if you break a pallet. With how easy it is to replicate this bug, this is a very serious issue that can and will be abused. But I have to say, this bug is one of the most fun bugs I have ever seen and reminds me of how the nurse had a similar problem in the past. Next issue that was found on Reddit is that you can camp and abuse Make Your Choice with the Knight's power. If you hook a survivor and you start using your power to go as far away as possible, it will count as if you are not there. So that means you can get stacks of Devour Hope and activate Make Your Choice. And if you combine this with Monster Shrine, there is basically no counter to it. A survivor will go down or die sacrificed. This is another big issue, just like AFK Pig was, where a tactic is so disgusting and effortless that you know some people will be abusing it. My final grave issue with the Knight is that if you use your power instantly to break a pallet or a wall, you might end up having no power at all for the rest of the match while having an incredibly annoying sound playing constantly and loudly. I could not replicate this bug, but what I could replicate is the annoying sound which happens anytime you use your power extremely fast or instantly, for example when breaking a pallet. Now let's talk about small issues with Knight. The first issue that can be replicated in literally any match, and it's the annoying blue spots that appear all around the map when you use your power. This should have been fixed already since it also happened in the PTB, but I guess they just didn't. However, it's a small cosmetic bug, so I am not very worried about it. The other problem I have with the Knight, and I don't know if it's a bug or not, is how sluggish the spawning of the guards feel. I am not talking about the AI of the guards because, of course, it is a hard thing to fix and I trust behavior will only improve them with time, but my problem is with the spawning. I don't know if I'm the only one that sometimes takes a very long time to spawn the Knight's guards. Like for example in this footage, I am constantly trying to spawn the guard, but I can't until I move a little bit to the right, and then I can. I cannot spawn them anywhere I want, and it's really annoying. And it's one of the parts as to why I do not like to play as this killer. Let me know in the comments if this happens to you. As for survivor bugs, I found that the new skill checks during Wiggle feel very bad. And I cannot explain what they changed about them, but they feel sluggish. It's really uncomfortable compared to how smooth they were before this update. Also, inner healing is bugged, and it works anytime someone in the map breaks a totem. So that means everyone can get heals just with one totem in the map, so 20 heals in total. Finally, there is a major glitch on PlayStation 4 that makes a cursor appear in the middle of the game, making it so that you cannot move at all, and you have to stay AFK or disconnect. This is a serious issue and behavior is aware of it. So let's talk about the maps, and since this is a global problem, it affects everyone. The first issue I have is with the new map, the Shattered Square. I personally do like the map visually, and I think it's a very cool map and very unique compared to the rest, but the map has two problems. The first problem is another thing I wanted to ask you. There are some parts of the map where it looks like there are scratch marks, especially in the burnt wood stakes in the burnt village house loops, and it's really annoying and hard to follow blood and scratch marks everywhere. I think behavior should stop using red accents around the maps because it's not a good idea. The other problem I have with this map is the amount of pallets that spawn all around the map. It spawns a pallet in basically all possible spawn spots locations in the map, so it's very easy to loop and combo various loops in one game. It has even more than the game, which is the map with the most amount of pallets in the game. And my next problem, this is a very bad one, for some reason they decided, or it's a bug, and there are some rocks, trash and trees spawning all around the maps, which is causing some major fatshame spots everywhere. I played 5 games and in 3 of them I had a problem with a serious fatshame spot, as you can see on the background footage, and for the other 3 I just got stuck in some places that I never got stuck before. It's very bad, and in some maps like Garden of Joy, the shack becomes a major uncounterable problem. More reasons to use the nurse, I guess. In all the time playing this game, I have never seen maps be so cluttered with stuff, and I hope this is just a bug because it's making some maps to be completely unplayable and some killers like Blight, Hillbilly and Leatherface to be more annoying to play. But as a positive note, they apparently fixed the legendary Garden of Joy bushes. Now let's be a little bit positive. I actually really like the perks in this update. I think there are more good perks than bad ones, so I'll give my rating for each of them, starting with Vittorio.
I mean, it's alright, like...
I think this is an interesting niche perk that might get some use in some situations. I really like how unique this perk is, with an amazing new animation. I'm not going to use it as much, but I really like the idea.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
This is such an amazing perk that gives so much information while you're doing a generator. It's incredible. It makes the feeling of hitting a great skill check even more rewarding. It counters a lot of stealth killers. It's overall an amazing perk that combines very well with hyper focus.
It's the biggest piece of
The worst perk in the DLC by far. When you get chased, the best thing to do is to leave the places where people are doing generators. 8% is not enough, 24 meters in this context is also not enough. Fun fact, originally this perk was supposed to be called Vittorio's Gambit according to the DVD wiki.
I mean, it's alright, like... Overrated as in my opinion, I mean...
It's a fun perk, brings a lot of new potential funny builds with Spirit, Hillbilly, Slinger or any other killer that can punish this. It's not game breaking as people said it is, it's very easy to counter, but it's fun.
I don't know.
I personally don't get this perk. It's very unique for sure, and there are some very annoying builds like the coconut video with Pinhead, which is absolutely disgusting. I am sure there will be more original combos with this hex, so early impressions is that it's weird.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
This perk is absolutely busted, especially with this gen kicking meta. Add Lethal Pursuer to this perk and you have extreme aura reading for so easy and with no cooldown at all. Add in the fact that it seems to be bugged, as the aura reading follows you around, making it so that you can move around the map after kicking a gen and you can still see people. By far my favorite perk in this DLC, and enough to make the knight worth to prestige. And now let's talk about the new guys. Like I said before, I am not going to talk about the strength of the knight. Early on, I don't like his playstyle and survivors counter it very easily just by using the old classic hold W tactic. Visually, however, the knight is amazing. His attack animation is amazing and his sound design is also really brutal, as I love how his armor sounds while walking. I don't like the cosmetics for him, and his only visually changing cosmetic is the ultra rare one, which is too expensive and it does not add anything special about him besides the neon blue bright. Vittorio is cool, but I really dislike how instead of going all in on the medieval factor, they decided to make him just a daddy. Really, literally all of his marketing ads on Twitter are summed up as "look at how hot our new survivor is," and it's very annoying. Also notice how he not only got 2 shirtless cosmetics on release, but also how they are Auric cells only. It's obvious thirst bait, but they do it because I guess it works. And finally, one thing that I don't see enough praise for, the new bots is such a cool addition to the game, and it's going to make content creation so much easier for a lot of people. It's by far the best addition in this patch for me, and I am so glad that we finally have bots. So, my final ranking for this DLC and update is 6 out of 10. It's not as bad as Nemesis or Twins release, there are a lot of bugs, and the Knight does not have the good impressions that Wesker or Dredge got when they were released. I do not look forward to playing more Knight though. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.